So when Mr Joyce says...
Is there a question on transport?
Well,
actually, what is
Are
it?
you saying that emissions...
What is the question on transport?
Are you saying that emissions targets don't have any relevance to the transport sector?
No, that's not what
Well, that's why I'm asking these questions.
Do you want me to say that? Is that what you want me to say?
No, I'd be surprised if you did. But we've confirmed that...
I'm just not clear.
Why don't you want to talk about
maybe
emissions?
You missed the press conference, maybe you missed the front page of The Australian. I can understand you might have.
I'm just struggling to
Probably not
understand
the
what on
paper you
earth your
turn
policy
to,
is.
As first and foremost.
I'm just struggling to understand what on earth your policy is, given what we've
I'll
been
tell you
told
what,
is that
Senator
it would
Watt,
go
I will
towards
take it
a
on
2050.
notice and clarify with the Deputy Prime Minister his quote.
So you can't... You're the leader of the Nationals in the Senate,
I've
and you
given
can't
you...
tell us what the Nationals policy is.
I've just told you, Senator Watt.
So what does he mean when
The
it's
Chair
about going
clarify
towards...
further.
What does Mr Joyce mean when he says your policy is about going towards a 2050 emissions target? Does that mean that you're not actually locked in? You're working towards it? Minister, it's been reported that the vote was 12-9 in favour. Is that correct?
I'm not going to comment on party room, and people that are commenting about what happens in the National Party room aren't doing themselves any favours.
Who are they?
I can't tell you. Who's quoted?
Well, you'll be surprised to hear it's anonymous.
Shocking.
You would never...
I'm shocked it's anonymous.
You would never have commented on your National Party
I always
colleagues
put my name.
anonymously, would you?
Senator Watt,
Was it a majority?
I'm actually buoyed that you are so interested in the National Party. You're almost obsessed.
Well, I'm pretty obsessed with making sure that the regions get good representation, which they haven't been getting for a number of years now.
You know, Senator Watt, if it wasn't for the National Party actually standing up for the regions through this process and securing
so what have you
good
secured?
outcomes. Well, as has been outlined, Senator Watt, it is part of cabinet process. So I'm not going to...
So we're just supposed to...
I'm going to work very hard to make sure you never are part of a cabinet.
So regional Australians are... You're saying they can rely on the National parties to secure a good deal for them.
Chair,
well, you just said that...
The Senator's
secured.
verbling me.
So what have you secured?
Wait. Well,
He's been very public about this, Senator Watt. I don't know. I mean,
No, he's
you
conveyed
know,
he's conveyed the National Party position.
You asked the same question 3 or 4 times. I'm pretty sure when I used to be chairing a committee that there is a standing on order around tedious repetition. Tedious repetition. Asked and answered.
I'm sure the Chair can do her job without you telling her how to do her job. Ms Nikki Sava said that Mr Morrison wanted a more ambitious 2030 target, but the National Party wouldn't let him have it. Is that correct?
Well, we've also been very, very clear on that publicly. It's a pity you haven't got those transcripts and you wouldn't have to ask these questions. Yeah, we don't support a more ambitious target on 2030.
So is it correct that Mr Morrison wanted a more ambitious 2030 target, but the National
I'm not
Party
going to
wouldn't let him
private
have it?
discussions between the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister. I'm being very clear about the National Party's position, and it is that we don't support a more ambitious target than we already have on 2030. We're actually decreased our emissions in this country by 20%. I don't hear you actually applauding that at all, Senator Watt, and we did it without the Labor Party's carbon tax, I might say. So we're able to lower emissions, have record exports in mining and agriculture, growing regional jobs, all the while doing that without a carbon tax. I think that's something we should be thankful for. And I mean, if it wasn't for the National Party, you guys would still be walking around with a carbon tax as your policy.
We might have ended the weekend
What is
by
your
now.
policy, Senator Watt?
We might have ended the weekend.
What's your policy?
We might
Do
have.
you have one? What's your 2030 target?
We've-
Elbow
we've-
silent.
Are you in opposition now?
Silent.
Are you in opposition now?
so I think that once we start talking about policies, this is the rabbit hole we go down.
Well, Senator Watt, I genuinely hope you don't get to be a Cabinet Minister, because that will mean the Labor Party has won an election. But the process of Cabinet means you don't actually disclose what's going to Cabinet for very good reasons.
Does the National Party list include Senator Canavan's call for a mortgage tax, that people should have to pay more on their mortgages?
You have a call for a mortgage tax.
Does the list include a pay rise for Minister Keith Pitt and promotion to Cabinet?
Senator Watt, what did I just say?
Senator Watt,
the
I can't
list
be
is
clear.
not
It's
for
about
discussion
protecting
because...
regions and securing a positive future.
Is it about securing anyone's regional job other than
It's
Keith
about
Pitt's?
protecting the regions and securing future growth.
But Keith Pitt's the only person who's had his job protected out of this deal.
Senator,
I've just made a
People are
ruling
gonna
on
call you
this, and
Queen of the
if, Minister,
Hearties.
if you want to keep talking, we will keep doing this. Please stop. Senator Watt, please move on.
Does the department believe that electric vehicles will end the weekend?
And I'll tell you what, it's not going to tow your trailer, it's not going to tow your boat, it's not going to get you out to your favourite camping spot with your family. Bill Shorten wants to end the weekend when it comes to his policy on electric vehicles.
Sorry, Senator?
I can understand you being incredulous at that question. Does the department consider that electric vehicles will end the weekend?
Are you asking me for a piece of policy advice?
Yeah, have you provided policy advice that electric vehicles will end the weekend?
I'm confused, Senator. I'm sorry.
I can understand you being confused. But Minister, is it still the National Party's view that electric vehicles will end the weekend?
Senator, we
Seems to
can
be
go round
changing.
and round the mulberry bush on this question.
I haven't asked
These
that
are
at all.
now a decision for Cabinet, and as a Cabinet Minister, I'll be respecting that process. I'd ask
So
you
it's-
to do the same.
So
As a
Cabinet-
party of government, I would ask you to do the same.
So is Cabinet to decide whether electric vehicles will end the weekend?
That is a nice grab.
That is, I hope you got that.
I'm just trying to understand your answer. What? So
I've answered the question.
No, you
Senator.
have- so
I actually have.
what
You
is-
don't like the answer, but I've answered it.
No, my question was whether the National Party still believes that electric vehicles will end the weekend. You've told me that's a matter for Cabinet to consider.
Because it goes to the issue that you've been debating all morning. And
So-
that is a matter for Cabinet, and I've got nothing more to say.
How long is the section in the Cabinet submission about whether electric vehicles will end the weekend?
Well, you'll have to
Senator
get
Watt.
into Cabinet to work out how long a Cabinet submission is.
Are you seriously suggesting that there's a Cabinet submission that's going to be considered that deals with whether electric
I'm
vehicles will
seriously
end the
not
weekend?
suggesting
not
anything to
what-
you about what may or may not be in a Cabinet submission, because that would actually not be the right thing to do, as you know.
I think that
So it's
we've
too
been
cute by
very-
half, Senator.
Does this Cabinet submission deal with whether the government should fund
No.
a new
Let me
coal-fired
see.
power
Am I
station?
going
Just-
to tell you, Senator, what's in a Cabinet submission?
Well, are you going to fund a
tough.
new coal-fired power
The
station?
first rule of Fight Club is not to talk about Fight Club.
Well, your government certainly is a fight club. There's no doubt about
Senator
that.
Watt, come on.
Minister, were backbench members provided with a copy of the green and pink colour-coded spreadsheet for BBRF?
I'll have to take that on notice.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
Were you provided with a copy?
Senator, I sat on the ministerial panel that is part of the decision-making process.
So you saw the colour-coded spreadsheet,
Well, I saw the advice from the department.
which included a colour-coded spreadsheet.
I've answered the question, Senator.
Well, can I pin you down on that?
I know what you're wanting to pin me down on.
Well, can you answer the question, please?
I have answered the question. I have answered the question.
I know.
Clearly.
I know colour-coded spreadsheets is a bit of a trigger word for you, but did
Not
you?
at all.
Did you see?
Not at all. You haven't read my submission, have you?
Did you see
should.
the colour-coded spreadsheet in this instance, Minister, for BBRF?
Sorry. Can you repeat the question? I
Have
can't
you
believe I'm
seen-
asking that. I know I'm going to get it another 5 times.
Have you seen?
Here's a free
well,
kick.
if you give direct answers, then I won't have to.
I gave you a very
ask
direct
questions.
answer.
Have you seen the colour-coded spreadsheet for BBRF round 5?
Senator Watt, I've answered the question. I saw advice from the department as a member of the ministerial panel.
And did that include the colour-coded spreadsheet?
I've answered the question.
I don't think anyone
Murray.
saw you. I accept that you saw the department's advice,
Yeah.
but you haven't said whether that included the colour-coded spreadsheet.
I've answered the question, Chair, 5 times again.